All right, if you have a website, you're going to want to lean in for this. We're talking about a tiny little text file that's quickly becoming an absolute secret weapon for getting seen in this new age of AI search. Let's dig in.
So let's get real. The whole world of search is changing, like right now. AI-powered search, things like Google's AI overviews, it's not some gimmick anymore. It's totally changing how your content gets found. The old playbook is being torn up as we speak.
And that forces you to ask a really important question. Is your website speaking the right language? Is it speaking AI's language? Because if it's not, you are running a very real risk of just disappearing.
And look, if you think this is some far-off trend, think again. Searches for LLM text SEO have already exploded by 120% year over year. People are catching on to this, and they are catching on fast.
So what's the answer here? How do you start speaking this new language? Well, it's a surprisingly simple and honestly elegant little tool called llm.txt. The best way to think about it, it's like a welcome mat you put out for AI when it comes to visit your site.
So what is this thing really? It's not complicated, I promise. At its heart, llm.txt is just a basic markdown file. You stick it in your website's main folder, the root directory, and its only job is to give these AIs clear, friendly directions. It literally points them right to your most valuable stuff.
And this is where it's totally different from what you might already know. You're probably familiar with robots.txt, right? That's basically the bouncer at the club door, the keep out sign for old-school search crawlers. Well, llm.txt is the exact opposite. It's the friendly host saying, "Welcome, come on in, let me give you the grand tour of all our best content." It's made for AI.
So why should you even bother? What's in it for you? Well, adding this one little file gives you two huge wins. First, you get way better visibility in those AI-generated answers. And second, you dramatically lower the chances that an AI is going to misunderstand your site by looking at the wrong pages. It's all about taking back control.
Okay, theory is great, but what about the real world? Does this stuff actually work? Well, the data from the early adopters is already pouring in, and honestly, it's pretty darn impressive. Let's start with traffic. The Web Almanac data shows that websites using llm.txt are already seeing up to a 30% increase in traffic that comes straight from AI search results. I mean, that is a massive lift from one simple file.
And it's not just about getting more traffic, it's about getting better traffic. When you compare it to the old ways of doing things, llm.txt is driving a 25% higher click-through rate from generative search. That means people aren't just seeing the AI's summary, they're actively clicking through to your website.
All right, so I'm guessing you're sold. You're probably thinking, okay, I need this, how do I do it? And the best part is, it's incredibly straightforward. Let's just walk through the simple 4-step playbook to get you up and running today.
It seriously just boils down to these 4 things. First, you identify your absolute best, most important content. Next, you draft the llm.txt file, and you'll see in a second how easy that is. Third, you upload it right into your site's main directory. And finally, you just test it to make sure everything's working. That's it. Identify, draft, upload, test. And please, don't get spooked by the idea of drafting a file. This is literally what it looks like. It's just plain text. You give it a little title, a quick 1-sentence summary, and the link. It's so simple a human can read it, which means it's incredibly easy to make.
At the end of the day, this is so much more than just a quick SEO trick. Getting on this now is about future-proofing your website. It's about getting a head start in a race that, believe me, has already begun.
So just how big of a deal is this going to be? Well, here's the prediction from the experts. By 2026, that's just around the corner, this one simple file could influence a whopping 40% of all AI search results. Just think about that. Nearly half the AI search world shaped by the directions you provide. Which really just leaves one final question on the table. In this new world by 2026, will your website be one of the ones that AI trusts, understands, and recommends to users? The decision you make today is going to answer that question.